Hello, chess players. It's me again, bringing you another edition of Mastering the Middle Game. I know that many years ago, Alexander Kotov wrote a book, Think Like a Grand Master. And that was a book that many of us read. But I have a new book out. It's called Think Like a Chess Player. You know that when we use passwords, we think of old ratings for our passwords now. And then for our username, we think about chess terms like Potzer or let's see, how about Magnus as a password, or a username? What happens when I'm on a date? Well, the first thing I think about is how much material do I have to sack to produce mate? And then the reason I got a divorce, well, we were like opposite colored bishops. Thank you for putting up with my sick sense of humor. Anyway, today let's get to today's topic, which is mastery of the middle game. Now, a lot of you are wondering, what do we do with the bishop? The bishop has a very important function, and that is the bishop is often a very good pinning piece. See, the queen is in a pin. If the knight moves, I capture the queen. So whenever you can, I don't want to see you developing bishop d2 like that, or bishop e3. No, you want to get very aggressive with the pin. Force this thing on him. Now, if he kicks the bishop, I don't want you to retreat. Maintain that pin and force him to weaken, play g5 and weaken his entire structure. So, in many positions, the best move, whenever you can, is to pin the knight to the queen. See, if he tries to get out of the pin, what you're going to do is you're going to capture the knight. He captures back, and we have a wrecked kingside pawn structure. These pawns are real bad here. They're bad because they're creating a hole right here, which I can now occupy with my knight. Now, I'm not going to capture the knight with the bishop because this piece is superior to that piece. So this is the type of structure that we're going to get in today's game, where I played the computer, and surprisingly the computer actually made this mistake, and that is how I got such a good position against the computer. Now, some of the rules that we're going to be going over today are number two. The number 2 rule we're going to talk about is use the knight to occupy a hole. If this hole becomes available, we could, try to stick the bishop into this hole, but the best piece for this to occupy this hole is probably the knight. Once we get the knight in here, we have a powerful outpost. Now, the third rule that we're gonna look at is, I want you to get a good position before you start sacrificing. A lot of us would want to start attacking and sacrificing pieces, but we have to do it when we're prepared to do it, after due preparation. You don't go attack the other side without having, you know, your army massed up and your guns ready and everything ready to go and a lot of ammunition. See, a lot of you are attacking with one piece. That's not going to cut it. You know, one piece attacks, forget it. The fourth rule that we're going to look at today is you don't always castle if your king isn't threatened. Here we have an open file. So I'm, you know, most of the time I'm going to castle to safety, or I have to get my king out of the line of fire. There could be a rook coming here or a queen. I should either castle or play king f1, get my king out of the line of fire. I want you also to check with purpose. I know a lot of you like to check just for the sake of checking. Now that is not good enough. We don't check just because we like to check. You want to play with ideas. Now you also, I see a lot of you evaluating the position based on the point count. Queen is 9, bishop is 3, rook is 5, pawn is 1. Okay. But supposing we have a position like this where, okay, we have the same amount of material, but look at this. The structure is all messed up. So I want you to also look at who has the better position. Position is very important in chess. Position is often what wins games. Now today, I played the computer, which is probably, I would say, after playing it a number of games, is probably rated around 2300. It's a computer that a lot of us could play. It's called the Magnus computer. A lot of you can get this app if you want, and the computer will play at different levels. I like to play it at Magnus age 10, which the computer is a young Magnus Carlsen who was probably kind of a weak IM at that time, but still a very strong player. But I like to play it because you got to play the computer at a level which is not too powerful, but yet it's a challenge. If you play it at the beginning level, it's too easy. But I don't play at the highest levels because it's gonna crush me. If I try to play it at the 2800 level, forget it. Maybe I'll get a draw once in a while. Anyway, I had white. I had white against the Magnus computer, age 10. d4, this is one of your best moves, no question about it. Knight f6, c4. In Grandmaster chess, this is one of the most popular openings, and for good reason. It's so solid. And this avoids the Nimzo. And this is also a very popular move. This is the Queen's Indian. Now I'm going to play one of Garry Kasparov's moves. a3. What the heck? How come I'm not developing? Well, the idea is this is very subtle. I'm avoiding the Nimzo pin, which is a very important thing to do. So the main thing is you're, avoiding the bishop check there. Bishop b7 developing. Knight c3, you got to get those pieces out. d5 is good to challenge center. Now you see that this pawn's kind of attacked. I can play here and guard the pawn, but locking in the bishop, that's not good. So I played. Now remember, we're talking about pins. This is the best move, the most aggressive move is to pin the bishop to the knight. And if the queen moves, we're going to smash the pawn structure where his king is going to live. So he's got to be very careful. And bishop e7 has got to be the best move to block the pin. Now this move is premature. That's a lemon. It kind of weakens the entire structure. It doesn't really do anything. The computer sometimes does not play the best moves here. And now this is best, but the computer played this lemon. This is a lemon. Because he should be trying to, this pin could get annoying, in the future, so. Okay, so I took here, pawn takes pawn, and then pawn takes pawn. And now we have this very annoying check, which the computer likes. I put it on Stockfish, and Stockfish likes this move. And it kind of disrupts Black's entire game. So I'm hoping for the move that he played. He played here, but now, woo-hoo, now's my chance. Give me those! See, now I'm doubling the pawns, and this pawn structure's messed up now. And he should be trading queens and trying to survive the endgame. But he simply captured back, and I say, look at that pawn structure. I wish you would castle over there. I'm going to keep the queens on the board. So I can try to, for a checkmate, go for a big attack on the king. See, it's very dangerous to castle over there now. So this is an aggressive, typical aggressive computer move. Now I should just go right into that hole. This is a hole. A hole is where, there's a weakness and the pawns cannot, kick away my pieces once I get in there. So this gives me a real spot to hang. I could put the bishop in there, or I could put the knight in there. But I decided on the knight. Now he's trying to really mess me up here. So the computer likes h3. h3 might be the best move, but I decided on rook g1. Now I can't castle anymore. But maybe I can castle queenside. But in the game I decided I'm just going to leave the king in the center because the king's not under any attack. So I'm going to leave the king in the center. This is a lemon, h3. I've got to drive the queen back. See, the queen is now defending. It's on a kind of a poor square. I want to be attacking with my queen. Now I'm afraid of the queen coming in, so I just play it safe. Now, of all the squares on the board, that's one of the worst squares. So the computer is no good positionally. No master would be playing these terrible moves. See, it just keeps moving the queen around. And now, notice how the knight dominates the board. That's the best piece on the board right now. And it controls all these pieces. The knight is doing terrific duty. This is not 3 points. This is probably worth 5 points. This is a great piece. He should get rid of it, but he can't. That's the problem. So Black's in real trouble. He's in such trouble that he can't decide what to do, see? So now instead of castling, I could castle. I decide I want the rook over here where maybe I can sack over here because his king is over there. So he decides, I'm gonna get out of there. Now I want you guys to pause just for a few seconds and decide whether we're going to sack something or not. Can I sack something here? Yes, I can. This is given one of the top moves by the computer. And my point is that he takes it, and this is actually the game that I come in here. And now, did I overlook the fact that both of my rooks are hanging? No, I didn't really overlook that. But the computer falls for this. And now I simply come up. And you're probably wondering, why doesn't the computer keep grabbing material? Okay, let's say the computer grabbed the rook. He didn't do it. Let's say he did. boom, and suddenly we're facing checkmate. So that's why the computer did not grab the rook, because it's afraid of this pin. So instead the computer played the only thing it could do to block the bishop. And I say, I'm going to get that rook anyway. Queen g8 trying to check me, I guess. Give me that. Now I'm afraid of this queen check, so I play bishop here. So I'm afraid of the queen check, so I just quietly play f3. See, he's in such a bad shape that he can't, really do anything. And I have time for the quiet f3. Bing! Now the knight has no good retreat squares. If the knight tries to come back here, queen b8 is mate. If the queen comes here, this is what he played, then bingo, the queen's overloaded. So he's really busted. I'm going to win the queen. He has nothing better than to take my pawn. And now I capture the queen, and it gets really bad now because after I capture the queen, I'm going to get the knight. So he's really messed up here. King takes. Queen d7, and now it's pretty much over. He's a queen down. Anyway, so white went on to win this game, being a queen ahead. And I hope that all of you learned something from this game. Anyway, I am giving private chess lessons to people. If you want to contact me about getting a chess lesson, email me at craigsmartncute@aol.com. Thanks again for watching.